We have arrived at temple number 11, which is the Great Pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza. But we will talk a little bit about the plateau and the other players there. The official story is that King's Chamber inside the Great Pyramid was where the pharaoh, the king, was buried in the sarcophagus. And it's a monument to that. I mean, even saying it makes me laugh. Same as when you look at the Sphinx, saying that the head of the pharaoh is the original head. There's some things that even my mind cannot compute, cannot agree with, no matter how much I might try to make things fit. It just doesn't. And there are many theories on what the Great Pyramid of Giza is. Some might say it's an energy reactor. Some see it as almost as a ship grounded in earth with an architecture of a ship. We only see the top because there's also the bottom of it. And maybe it is. Some see it as a temple of ascension. And that's one of the things I'd like to discuss here. When you have a private visit to the pyramids, the guards stand aside, and some stay in the room with you, some give you space. And it is not uncommon for people to be allowed to get inside the sarcophagus. Again, it feels super weird if you think about it as the burial site of a pharaoh. But let's entertain the idea that it's not, that it is in fact something else. When we think about ascension, we think about, yes, our consciousness is rising, our consciousness is shifting, but there's also the physical ascension, how our physical bodies are changing from a solid form, dense, into a more crystalline. To me, being in the Great Pyramid, which is a very mysterious place where fruit don't really rot, where fruit and meat are preserved, and there's something happens to us on a cellular level. I see it, and I don't know physics, I don't know CERN, particle collider reactor, whatever you call it, but that is what I was seeing, what I was shown there, is when you are inside the sarcophagus, and it's, by the way, it's made out of pink granite, which we will talk about in a second. Your physical body, your physical being disintegrates and becomes light. And of course the human mind is like, so you're saying you die? It's way beyond that. You are disintegrated, taken up, and then put back together. That's what I was seeing. Because this whole experiment that we're in now is about us taking our physical bodies, right? We're going to New Earth. New Earth is here, but we have to move through something. And moving through that something, through that into the new dimension, our bodies have to come with us. And it will feel like an instant where you are dissolved into light, and then you come back together in a new form. And being inside the Great Pyramid is the closest I've come to feeling and sensing and seeing and experiencing that idea. Well, that and in plant medicine ceremonies. Ayahuasca will show you that too. But inside the Great Pyramid, the conditions are right. The geometry is right. The earth grid and the power under the earth is right. The alignment with the stars is right. The crystalline structure of the material is right. And the pyramid serves that purpose, but it also serves a much bigger purpose for the whole planet. It's a magnifier and a focuser of energy. So with the light coming from above, it holds it and it beams it out. So it's almost like a battery, a solar battery that, don't think about it as for power, for powering, for free energy, but think of it as for, and I said that and it was like, well, of course Tesla is involved. Well, of course it's about Tesla. So if somebody's listening and somebody is interested in 369 and Tesla and all of that, it's all connected apparently. But it's not my pathway. It's not my mission brief to work with that. But they are saying that it's all connected. It serves the purpose of everyone coming in contact with it, walking around it, going inside it, to believe in something bigger, to expand them into recognizing that you're part of something bigger. And this is particularly true when you are a spiritual human on this path. When you come in contact with it, you're suddenly connected to the stars in a new way. It reminds you that the map of everything is in the stars. That the matrix that exists, the net that is cast in the sky over us, exists not to keep us prisoner here, but to give us a framework of stories, of guidelines within which we navigate, within which we expand, contract, shed density, remember who we are, all the things. And that is on the walls of the King's Chamber. If you follow Robert Edward Grant, you're probably familiar with this. He talks a lot about that. And if not, look him up. Look him up on Instagram, look him up on Gaia TV. And it also serves the purpose of helping you feel that you're not alone. Truly, when you're inside it, you feel there's something bigger than me, and you feel I'm not alone. So there is the King's Chamber, there is a Queen's Chamber, there's other chambers still being discovered, and underneath the Great Pyramid, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see the image of the whole structure. Underneath the pyramid, and you got to crawl and climb under it to get there, is what I lovingly call the dragon dungeon. The connection of this Great Pyramid to the earth is undeniable. It was built, some say it was built during Atlantis time, some say it was built right after, but it's been placed here to hold the energetics, to hold the codes, to stay connected to the grid. And when the time was right, this would be a place of convergence of energies. We also know it to be the throat chakra of the earth. So we know it to be very important and very connected to the grids below. Every time I go, the dragons show up. The dragons show up from 4 sides. The elemental dragons come from 4 sides, always asking for the willing, conscious participants to be the dragon riders, to be the ones directing the energies. And every time I go, they're there. And they ask us to not tune the pyramid the way that Una's does. So Una's asks, if you haven't listened to it, go back. Una's pyramid, the tuning fork, that sometimes needs to be tuned to the right frequency. That's not what this one does. This one focuses on the intent. It's the will of God, and to me it's the blue flame just burning so bright in this pyramid. Everything to do with the blue ray, with the blue flame, the will of God. So it encourages you to speak the will of God, to gather with others, to speak the intention. And then the dragons that converge in and around it, they spread this throughout the earth. Because remember, we are the creator beings. Our throats, our words hold all the power to manifest, to make manifest the reality in the physical. We just forgot. We just don't believe. So that's what it's asking us to do. It calls you to find your voice, to connect to the divine will, to the divine power, and to channel it. It's a cosmic generator, a living transmitter, an antenna of light that is inviting you in as a living crystal that you are, to come into place, and for this crystal to hold the intention, to hold the energy, and project it out into the world. When you speak it, it goes out into the grids, out into the ethers, through the dragons, the elemental dragons carrying it all out. Yeah, I know. It feels crazy. It really does. And it's not something you can explain. You have to go yourself. But there are many ways to do this, right? Again, you can go with a group of people, be stuffed inside it with 40 other tourists, everyone taking picture, everyone sweating and trying to get their shot without somebody else in the picture. Or you can go and have a moment of stillness to discern for yourself what it is and what it's there for, and how you are connected to it. Because understanding what is the purpose of something is just feeding your mind, is just feeding the mind. Are we done feeding the mind? Right? How does this actually relate to my journey, humanity's journey? So I promised I would talk about the outside of the pyramids. So there is a place on I can't remember what side it is. I think it might be the north side. There is a basalt block plateau. And there I hear the same frequency as inside the Serapeum. If you haven't watched Serapeum video, it's the previous one, Temple 10. It's the Arcturian codes. And that's where I would see ships landing. And they would land there because they would be bringing in these giant crystals inside the pyramid. There was another entrance that they would bring the crystals in. And this was Atlantean times, and they would use the crystals again to focus energy, transmit consciousness, program the grids. And now there's no physical crystals, but we are the crystals. This is why our conscious participation is required, is needed. Okay, I think that was probably enough crazy, my dear brave souls. enough crazy for one session. Yeah, it's going to show you something different every time you go. For me, being inside it, I dissolve into light and I hear the wails of Sirius. I dissolve and become the star of Sirius, the watery one. I truly believe for everyone it will be something different. And maybe, just maybe, it gives you a glimpse of your soul's home. And I'm not saying my home is Sirius. I know it's beyond that. The identifications with Sirius or Pleiades or Arcturus as our soul's origin and home, and this is who I am, is another story. That is just another layer, another story. And we go beyond that. We go higher, remembering that all of it, every layer, every dimension is a projection of God, that we go higher. We go higher and remember that we are God dreaming. We are this beautiful manifestation here in the physical of that dream. And if only we can stay awake long enough, we can bring back the Garden of Eden to earth. We can create it. We can rebirth ourselves as the creator beings, as the sun beings that we are. And we can bring heaven to earth. In fact, many already look around and say, well, heaven is already here and the earth is already here. Because their reality is beginning to reflect only that. Okay, that was some food for thought. Thank you.